Before you walk away, before you decide she's not worth the pain, ask yourself one simple question. What if this is not the end, but the moment that defines everything? Most men don't realize this. They assume the battle is lost before the real war even begins. She's pulling away, going cold, and no longer replying the way she used to. Your mind screams, it's over. But hold on. What if that emotional distance is actually your greatest opportunity? What if instead of chasing, begging, or losing yourself trying to get her back, you could make her rechase you without saying a word? This is where 99% of men fail. They react too fast, too emotionally, too desperately, and that's exactly what kills attraction. So before you give up, watch this video till the end. Because what you're about to learn isn't just theory, it's a rare power most men will never unlock. 1. Why she's pulling away and why most men panic. When a woman grows distant, most men instantly assume she's lost interest. She met someone else. She doesn't care anymore. But that's only the surface. In reality, a woman's emotional withdrawal often starts subtly. She doesn't just wake up one morning and decide to stop loving you. It's a slow erosion, and here's why. The chase is over. In the beginning, there was mystery. You were unpredictable. You were a challenge. Now, she knows exactly how you feel. There's no tension, no edge, and like a predictable movie, you've lost your suspense. She's testing your emotional core. Whether she's aware of it or not, women subconsciously test emotional strength. They want to see how you handle confusion, detachment, distance. Do you get anxious? Do you start calling 10 times a day? Or do you remain calm, composed, in control? She needs space to feel again. Attraction doesn't grow from comfort. It grows from distance. It's not built on constant reassurance. It's built on uncertainty and polarity. If she always knows she can have you, she'll stop wanting you. That's the paradox. And this is the exact moment most men self-destruct. Instead of stepping back, they push harder, they send longer texts, they apologize even when they did nothing wrong. They beg for attention, hoping to restore what they feel is slipping. But guess what? Attention that is not earned is never valued. The moment she feels like she doesn't have to work for your presence, she stops valuing it altogether. 2. The silent test, and why you're probably failing it. Here's what most men miss entirely. When she pulls away, it's often not a punishment. It's a silent test, not always planned, not even fully conscious, but her instincts are watching. She wants to know, is he truly centered or just pretending to be? Will he chase me the moment I retreat? Does he have other options, or am I his only lifeline? And here's the dangerous part. Most men fail in seconds. She delays a reply, and he double texts. She ignores him, and he asks if she's okay. She cancels plans, and he immediately tries to reschedule. Every one of these moves sends one loud signal: you have power over me. But the rare man who wins this test, he doesn't flinch. He gives her the space she's looking for, not out of revenge, but out of strength. He doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't try to win her back, because he knows true attraction isn't about effort, it's about energy. 3. The power of controlled distance. They don't beg. They don't explain, they simply hold their ground, and that's when something unexpected begins to shift. She starts to feel a strange, creeping emotion she didn't expect: regret. Most men don't realize this one truth. Women don't fall in love with presence. They fall in love with absence. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But think about it. When something, or someone is always available, always chasing, always saying yes, it blends into the background. You stop noticing. You stop appreciating. You stop caring. But when that same presence suddenly vanishes, like a favorite song removed from your playlist, you start craving it. Your mind replays the moments. You wonder why it disappeared. That's how emotional value is created. And that's why pulling back at the right moment can shift everything. So instead of texting her first, wait. Instead of liking her stories or posts, ignore them. Instead of rearranging your day for her, prioritize yourself. Because the moment you stop being predictable, stop being constantly available, and stop reacting instantly, you become rare. And when something is rare, it becomes desirable again. That's when her thoughts start racing. Why isn't he reaching out? Did he move on? Is he with someone else? The less you give away for free, the more valuable you become. 4. What to do instead of chasing. Now, here's the biggest trap. When men feel her pulling away, they rush in with explanations, emotional confessions, long messages, and attempts to fix things. I just need to tell her how I feel. If she understands me better, she'll come back. Wrong move. Because attraction isn't logical, it's emotional, instinctual, and often built in silence, not speeches. So instead of pouring your heart out, match her energy. If she's distant, you don't overcompensate, you mirror, pull back, remain neutral. Let your actions say, I respect myself too much to beg, and if she reaches out, sure, respond, but don't go overboard. Here's where most men blow it. She vanishes for a week, then suddenly, hey, and he replies like he's been waiting at the window for her message like a lost puppy. Big mistake. Here's how to handle it. Stay calm. Don't act like it's the highlight of your month. Let her put in effort. Let her prove she means it, because if she disappeared, she needs to earn her way back. This is how you reclaim control of the pace. Don't jump back into old patterns. Let her feel the distance. Let her wonder what changed. Only then do you offer a small piece of your attention. And here's the twist. If you do this, she will respect you more, because now she knows she can't take you for granted. 5. And if she never comes back, hear this. This part might sting, but it's necessary. Not every woman will return, and that's a blessing. Let's say she walks away and never looks back. You didn't lose. You just avoided wasting more time on someone who was never fully yours. You don't want a woman who only stays when you beg. You want one who chooses to stay because she genuinely values you. 6. The power of silence. And now we arrive at the most underrated weapon of all, silence. Most men will never understand this. They believe the key to getting her back is through long talks, emotional pleas, debates, apologies. But the truth, sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Last time we talked about the power of distance and how silence can reshape a woman's perception of you. Now let's take it one step further. What happens when your silence becomes louder than any words you could say? 7. Why you don't need to fight for her attention. Here's what most men get wrong. The moment she pulls away, they panic. They rush to fight for her attention. They text, they call. They explain, but the truth, silence speaks louder than words ever could. It doesn't just say, I'm fine without you. It whispers something far more powerful. I've moved on. Silence creates mystery. It plants seeds of uncertainty, and slowly, without you lifting a finger, it shifts the emotional power dynamic. At first, she brushes it off. She thinks he'll be back. She expects that text, that check-in, that attempt to fix things, but then days pass. Then a week, then 2, and something shifts. Suddenly, you're not predictable anymore. You're not that guy who always reaches out first. You vanished from her digital world. No texts, no reactions, no likes. And now there's a void she never saw coming, a quiet space where your presence used to be. And that space, it forces her to pause, to question, to reevaluate her feelings for you. 8. Why women underestimate you. Until you go silent. Most women assume one thing, that you'll always be available, no matter how cold she gets, no matter how far she pulls away. She assumes you'll still be there, waiting, and honestly, why wouldn't she? Most men chase. Most men can't handle a woman's silence. Most men panic and overcompensate. But when you don't, when you respond with calm silence instead of desperate action, you shatter her expectations. She begins to think, wait, why isn't he reacting? Why hasn't he tried to talk to me? Is he actually moving on? And that shift in perspective, it sparks something inside her that she wasn't ready for, doubt. For the first time, she's unsure. For the first time, she wonders if she judged you too quickly. And that simple question, did I misjudge him? It triggers a flood of emotions she didn't expect. 9. The moment she starts to feel your absence. Now here's the part most men never get to see. Why? Because they give up too soon. In the beginning, she might feel fine, even relieved. She thinks, he'll reach out soon. She waits. 1 day, 2 days, a week. And still, silence. No messages, no calls. No Instagram likes, no story views, nothing. Days turn into weeks, and now she's the one who feels the shift. She checks her phone more. She replays old conversations. She starts wondering what you're doing, and more importantly, who you're doing it with. For the first time, she's the one who feels uncertain. She's the one who's unsure. She's the one wondering, did I make a mistake? And this is the moment everything changes. Because now, the chasing energy flips. You're no longer chasing her, and that absence, it begins to speak volumes. 10. The unspoken rule of attraction. There's one truth that most men overlook. A woman values you based on how difficult you are to replace, when you were always available. She never had to think about losing you. You were a constant. Predictable, comfortable, but now that she feels your absence, now that she realizes you're not just sitting there, waiting, that comfort turns into discomfort. That familiarity turns into longing. That predictability turns into mystery. She begins to wonder, did I take him for granted? Did I misjudge his worth? And here's the most powerful part. She won't even realize she's doing it. It happens quietly, subconsciously, because when something is no longer there, the heart starts to notice its shape. And that shape, it was you. In the last part, we saw how absence creates emotional gravity. When you're no longer easily available, you shift from predictable to powerful. Now let's explore what happens when she starts to notice your silence, louder than any words. 11. Why she suddenly starts watching you again. When silence settles in and your name stops showing up on her phone, something unusual begins to happen. She starts watching. It begins quietly. She checks your last scene. She scrolls through your old messages. She views your stories without reacting. She might even drop a like on an old post just to see what you'll do. But why? Because suddenly you're no longer predictable. You're no longer that safe, emotional constant. You've become a mystery, and mystery ignites attraction. Inside her mind, one haunting question starts repeating. Did I actually lose him? That question locks her attention on you. It triggers a wave of curiosity and emotional confusion. Because once a woman thinks she might have lost a man who was once devoted to her, it stirs emotions she didn't even know were there. It forces her to reevaluate everything, especially how much you actually meant to her. And that's when she starts feeling the true weight of your absence. 12. The subtle signs she's testing the waters. Now, here's where most men fail. Because when she finally throws out a signal, a random hey, a fire emoji, a laugh reaction on your post, they take the bait. But those little actions, they aren't meaningless. They're tests, her way of whispering, "Are you still there? Can I still pull you back whenever I want?" If you respond instantly, too eagerly, too emotionally, you confirm her suspicion. She still has you. Just like that, the power dynamic resets. You go back to chasing, she goes back to losing interest, and the cycle repeats. 13. How to handle the moment she reaches out. This is the moment everything hinges on. Most men, when she finally reaches out after weeks of silence, think, "I did it. She came back. I can relax, I can act normal again." Wrong move. This is the critical moment. Because how you respond now determines whether she regains control or whether she sees you in a whole new light. You have two paths. 1. Fall back into the old pattern. Be too available, too easy, too emotional. 2. Stay composed. Respond but don't chase. Let her work for your attention. The second option, that's the game changer. Now you're no longer the man she thought she had figured out. Now you're a challenge, and women don't walk away from a challenge, they lean in. 14. The ultimate mindset shift. Here's the ultimate truth. You should never want to be the man who is always available. The one who always chases. That's not strength, that's neediness. Instead, focus on your path, focus on your growth, your goals, your priorities. Let her feel the space. Let her feel your absence, because when you do, you become valuable, not because you said anything, but because she has to work to win you. That's how lasting attraction is built. You win a woman, not by chasing her, but by becoming the kind of man who never has to chase. You win by having standards, by valuing your time, by making her earn the right to be in your energy. That's when everything shifts, because now you're in control. Not through manipulation, not through ego games, but through self-respect. And that's the kind of power that lasts. Previously, we saw how silence slowly breaks down her emotional defenses until even her ego starts to crumble. But now comes the real test. This is where the true battle begins. 18. When the real battle begins, detachment is the game changer. At this point, she's no longer sure. She doesn't know if you've truly moved on, or if you've unlocked something most men never do. Detachment, not bitterness, not anger, but calm, focused detachment. Detachment is what breaks her ego, because in that moment when she realizes she's lost access to your emotions, when she understands you've pulled back for real, that's when everything flips. She realizes you were never just another guy. You were never the one she could keep on a leash. You were the prize, and she didn't see it. And here's the painful part. She realizes it too late, because by now, you've changed. You've evolved. You've stopped waiting for her validation, and suddenly, she sees what you saw all along. The real value was never in her attention. It was in your ability to walk away. Now, she's no longer in control. You are, and she's left wondering, will I ever get another chance with him? 19. What to do when she comes back. Here's where most men fail. She finally reaches out, and what do? They respond instantly. They sound excited. They give her what she secretly came back for, validation. And once she gets it, she disappears again. Because now the challenge is gone. She got her emotional fix. You've confirmed she still has power over you. That's why you can't play this like other men. If she comes back, you must stay centered. You must stay grounded. You must act like a man who is not fazed by her return. Don't drop everything just because she messaged you. Don't make her the center of your world again just because she smiled. Because that's what made her take you for granted in the first place. 20. Make her earn it or walk away like a king. Instead, let her work for it. Let her prove, not with pretty words, but with consistent action, that she actually values you. And if she doesn't, you've already won, because now you finally understand you never needed her in the first place. You were the one who grew. You were the one who leveled up. You were the one who found power in silence. 21. Don't chase, level up. If she let you down, don't beg. Don't chase, just level up. Focus on your goals. Double down on your growth. Move forward without looking back. Let your silence speak the loudest message of all. Because the moment you stop trying to prove your worth is the moment you become undeniable. If you found value in this video, hit like, subscribe, and check out the next one. It's exactly what you need to hear next.